All right, hi everyone. This is Brad from Board Game Geek. I'm here with a cool crowd tonight. We're going to be playing Yardmaster and Leaping Lemmings live. So tonight we have Aldi. Aldi, how are you doing?
Hey, Brad. Doing good. It's Aldi, by the way.
Oh, Aldi, I'm sorry.
Aldi. Thank you. Or just Scott, whichever.
And then we got Gray.
Hey, what's going on, Red?
Good. How are things going?
Good. I just came back from a trip to PAX Prime over in Seattle, so I'm tired.
Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about that. I totally forgot
Oh
that
no,
happened.
Yeah.
I was there and I'm not tired anymore. That's not cutting it, Greg.
Well, I also got a 2-month-old, so I'm.
Oh no, that's the reason why
The
you're
jet lag lasts a little longer.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. You get a free pass.
All right.
Then we have a special guest tonight. Patrick Nickel of Crash Games is here as we check out some Yardmaster. Cool. So yeah, let's just get into it. So as many of you know, Yardmaster multiplayer is still being fixed. Patrick, can you tell us a little bit about the process you guys are going through? I know you're like putting a ton of time into trying to get that going.
Yeah, if people knew how much time was going into it by my developer, and then me trying to help him troubleshoot from a non-technical side. I just had another meeting with him today. He's in the UK too, so he's a real trooper and gets on later at night when normal people are doing family stuff, so that we can try to get things hashed out. And it's odd because it's allowing him to invite people on his device. So we're thinking that it's a nuance with versions, which I guess is time consuming to troubleshoot. And so I'm very confident that we're going to have, a solution for it soon. Certainly as soon as we possibly can, because that's what, I told him that the priority was. And then some other minor adjustments coupled to the UI and a couple other things. But yeah, working hard behind the scenes, but it's gotten a little difficult. I get about 10 emails a day letting me know the multiplayer isn't working. So I try to remember that not everybody is on all the same avenues, and try to treat everybody the same. It's a lot of work and a lot of customer service though. But I love my people, so I can't complain really.
Right. Great. I know you've had experience wrestling online systems. Can you, as a developer, can you speak to
Oh,
that?
man. I mean, yeah, the different back ends and getting it to work. You know, I don't know. It's the worst part of developing mobile apps, in my opinion. Especially depending on which system. Is this native, Patrick? Xcode Objective-C, or is this a Unity?
Well, because I know that my cost to port it over to Android, while not insignificant, wasn't as
Uh-huh.
much as it was to build the iOS app. So I'm assuming that it's Unity, but I can't say
Okay,
for sure.
gotcha. Which has, its pluses and minuses, because I've run into trouble with Unity. I mean, like, trying to find a system that's going to work across the operating systems can be just as tough as, making 3 separate ones, like Game Center with iOS, etc. So
Sure.
you really can't escape it. If you're working with networking, you're in for some trouble.
Yeah, definitely. So I probably should explain a little bit about this game. So yeah, Yardmaster
Uh-oh.
is. Uh-oh, what's wrong? um, yeah, so Yardmaster is I guess, I don't know if it's a race game, I guess. You're trying to build your train uh, and complete it quicker than the other players. You're doing this by collecting goods and using them to buy train cars. And the trick is that the train cars have to connect either by number or by color, and so you have to kind of plan ahead what you're going to buy and what you're going for. Is that the basic gist, I think? You guys still there? Oh, yeah.
Yep. So I like
That's
that
that's the
element
gist of it.
of matching either the number or the color. There's something really satisfying about collecting a ton of those cars in your what is it, the sorting yard,
Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
and just suddenly dropping them off. And
And I think that's the advanced level strategy, in my opinion.
so each turn here, you have a couple of choices, right? you have a certain number of actions, and you can do like up to 3 different things.
Right. So you either have 2 or 3 actions. Patrick, can you remind me what that term is
Yeah,
called?
my wife likes to play what I call Yardmaster.
A little bit of problem with the audio.
Yeah, I think Patrick, are you still there? Sorry, it seems like we're losing you a little bit.
Yeah.
Aldi, are
Google
you there as well?
being difficult.
I'm still here. Patrick may have lag or something
A
potentially.
little bit of lag, yeah.
Give him a second to respond.
I'm still here.
There we go.
Cool. So Patrick, I know the game has an interesting system of, you either get 2 or 3 actions per turn. Can you remind us kind of how that works? How you?
Yeah, that's done by the Yardmaster token. So in a 4-player game, for example, 1 player would be the start player, and the person to their right, or the person to their counterclockwise or to their right, would start with the Yardmaster token. So whoever possesses the Yardmaster token will take an extra action on their turn. And while the play goes clockwise, the Yardmaster token will travel counterclockwise. So when it arrives to you, you get a 3rd action on that turn, and you immediately pass it once your turn is over.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool mechanic, I think. Really gives you that ability to plan and try to maximize your actions when your turn comes.
Yeah, I think it's one of the two hooks of the game. The domino mechanic of how the rail cars attach either by color or number, and the Yardmaster token, I think, are the 2 sort of gimmicks or hooks, if you will.
The exchange token seems to have a bit of strategic opportunity in there as well. Planning ahead, figuring out, I kind of liked that aspect of the game.
Yeah, the exchange token is kind of the unsung hero of Yardmaster. A lot of first-time players will ignore the exchange token. And on a turn in which you only have 2 actions, it's not super optimal unless you're going for a power move, or if you just absolutely don't have any other options, which shouldn't happen very often. But when you have that 3-action turn, swapping that exchange rate token, or even in the bonus card pack 1 cards, which is available as a 99-cent in-app purchase, there's actually 2 copies of a bonus card that allow you to exchange your exchange rate token for free.
Right.
That becomes even more strategic with that bonus card.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to it in the beginning, in the first few games, like you said. But then sort of once you get the hang of it, you realize it's kind of a nice balancer too when you're getting bad draws and you just keep getting one of a color, but none of those cars pop up. It just kind of adds a new avenue to the game that I liked.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's really where it shines, and that's really where the power of the exchange rate token is. In any game where you're drawing cards, you have that luck of the draw, but the ability and the power to have an exchange rate token really helps mitigate that, I think, tremendously, in being able to still do something meaningful, even though you're not necessarily drawing the cards that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We do have a few questions.
Uh-oh.
All of them are nice. I'm editing here. No, I'm just teasing. They're all very kind. So there's some questions. I know you're working just on the basic multiplayer right now. There's some questions about currently it's 2 players only. Are there plans to have more than 2 players able to play multiplayer?
I would like to have that facilitated. The developer and I have had several conversations about that, and I think that's one of the potential hangups with getting the online play to work right. As a non-coder, I don't understand a lot of the process, so he was letting me know that the amount of data that goes in an online game is tremendous, and so I would like it to facilitate more than 2 in online. My first goal is going to be getting 2 to work right. There's no use in the transmission in the vehicle if it doesn't have wheels.
Right, that's fair.
And I imagine that'll probably be, you're going for synchronous play, right, versus async, because the turns are so fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all derived out of Game Center and Game Center integration. So synchronous play, yeah, versus asynchronous, where I guess that means you could be in there both live and see kind of what's happening. So definitely some nuances to work out. I'm learning a lot as this is the first app that I've ever done, and I've learned a tremendous amount in a very short amount of time. It's not easy. I went into it as respectful and not naive as I could, but I think I was still fairly naive as far as what I could expect.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who did the artwork for this? I like the orange and black graphic design. It's really cool.
The art is actually a really interesting story. The game designer, Stephen Aramini, is a first-time designer out of Reno, Nevada, and he has a friend by the name of Dan Thompson that is a professional graphic designer for an ad agency out of Bend, Oregon. And I guess Dan had done the art for Stephen just as friends, so that Stephen could have a nice looking prototype. And I'm really picky about art in the games that I publish, and I immediately fell in love with the art and had the very, very difficult task of negotiating a deal to obtain the art, because to be fair, Dan is used to working in the graphic design world and has never done anything in the board game world, and came back to me with a number that I would never be able to afford or be able to pay. And so I kind of had to be very gentle and let him know, hey, in the board game world, here's what some of the top artists make, and as an independent publisher, here's what I can afford to pay. And if don't take this as an insult. I didn't think it was an insulting amount, but the number that he gave me and the number that I came back with, there was a valley of separation. And so thankfully, he really wanted to see Steven's game succeed, and whatever his motivation was, that was up to him. But thankfully, I was able to keep the art, and I love the kind of retro. It kind of feels like retro Mad Men to me, kind of that real, 60s ad agency look.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the orange is like super interesting. Like, there's not very many orange games out there. The orange sky, right? Like you normally don't think of a sky being orange.
No, I think it'll really. Well, I mean, the sky's orange in my world, Aldi. I don't know what color it is in yours. But...
Pink.
No, that's what really orange box is going to pop, but we'll find out.
Is the print version shipping now, or are you still waiting on that?
Sorry, Patrick, did you get that?
It's freezing up a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Google.
Yeah, and I think that's a question a lot of other of our viewers are having is about the shipping of Yardmaster and Yardmaster Express.
Right.
That's always a touchy subject.
In the final stages of production, so I should have my hand on. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's got
Am I back again?
Yeah, you're back now.
You're back. Yep.
Sorry about that. I always have trouble with Google Hangouts. So yeah, I heard the question. Yardmaster, the analog version, is in the final stages of production, and I'll actually have my hands on the advance final production copy next week, and then we'll be in final production. Much to the dismay of a select group of my backers, there will be a very limited number of copies available for sale at Essen. And then when I get back from Essen, I should have my hands on the full print run, and it'll be out to backers at that point. And then once the backers have it, I think we'll be really cutting it close to BGG Con too. So it's not a good day to be Crash Games, but I love what I do, and I'll keep on chugging.
That's part of the industry these days. I mean, you're not alone in trying to get everything coordinated.
It's difficult, but thankfully I've always told all my backers and customers that I will always be 100% honest with them, and hopefully
I think being transparent is like super important these days.
Yeah, I wish I could control more than I can control, but I'm just doing a guy that likes to make cardboard, doing the best I can.
Yeah, also, and you recently got nominated for a Geeky Award.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a crazy little whirlwind experience out in Hollywood. I got to meet Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
Really, booger, awesome.
Yeah, that was I got my picture taken with him. That was definitely the highlight of the evening. But it was a zoo. I had never been to an award ceremony, and that was a nightmare.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I've
was.
only been to LA one time, and it's hard to get around there.
I don't care for Los Angeles, but
Oh, man.
we'll leave it at that. I'm a San Diego guy.
Yeah, I was like,
Required
I
to
was
hate
trying to
LA.
picture myself living out there, and it's like it's just crazy.
Yeah, I spent 15 years there. I don't know if I'm going back.
Yeah.
Well, I think LA is okay if you like sitting in cars a lot. Otherwise,
Exactly. Like we were, everywhere was like half an hour, 40 minutes to get there.
realize. So,
Um,
oh, go ahead. Great.
I was gonna just ask Patrick about PAX and just see what he liked, what he thought,
It's the same in Arizona, but that's just because it's the distance.
and
My
if he
Google's,
maybe had
my Google's cutting it out. Could you ask the
Yeah.
question one more time again?
the Google Audio. I was also gonna see if you happened to go to PAX Dev while you were over there.
I wanted to. I didn't know about it.
What did you think of PAX, and did you have a chance to go to PAX Dev while you were out there?
I loved PAX. I will
Hmm.
certainly be going to more of them in the future. I didn't know anything
I
about
lost
PAX,
audio.
and so they didn't invite me to that. But hopefully in the future they will. Am I cutting out again? Oh, good grief, Google.
I think you're caught up.
Yep.
I think you're good. I
Um,
think.
What is PAX Dev? I had not heard of it.
So PAX Dev is a meeting up of developers. So where
Oh.
PAX is kind of more of a consumer show, PAX Dev is for the developer side, but not just coders. Definitely artists, game designers, board game designers, etc. We just get together and industry folks come and give talks, and it's a great place to.
It's almost like a game developers conference type thing.
Exactly. Yep. It's a mini
Neat.
game developer conference, and
That's a good idea because everybody's out there already.
Yes, and so it's the 2 days, the Wednesday and Thursday prior to PAX. This was my second year going, and I can't recommend it high enough. It's really a treat.
Yeah,
I have
I
never
wish
been.
I could have gone to that. I was certainly out there early enough to go for it, but I knew nothing about it. I know that Christopher Bedell with Greater Than Games was asked to speak. I'm good friends with him, and we were kind of commingling on a booth together. So maybe at future PAXs they'll ask me.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
somebody else?
I was gonna say something.
Sure.
So Patrick, this is your first time to go into Spiel, right?
If they're gonna be a blithering idiot. And checking it out and seeing what it was like. I was helping Steve Bonacore in the Stronghold
Okay.
Games booth. This is my first year actually running my own booth there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Join
so I'm looking
to join
forward
the
to that.
craziness of all that stuff.
Oh gosh, it was crazy fun last year, and it's been a tremendous amount of work getting all the logistics in place. I couldn't believe what it cost me to ship stuff over there from my warehouse here in Arizona.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it costs a small fortune, and so hope I can pay for the trip.
The price we pay to bring the games to the world, right?
If people only knew, I haven't made any money in 3 years to do this. So.
Oh man,
A labor of love.
it is for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gearing up. I'm actually going out a week early to travel a little bit beforehand, and I'm actually trying to finish up my 2013 taxes.
Ooh.
So I've got that, and then I get to get my button gear to get ready to go. It's coming up.
So you're going out a week early. I'm staying a week.
Makes sense if you're going to go to combine it, with a.
Yeah, well, my wife comes and we go on a. We've been, I guess, for like the past 4 years now. We've been doing like a vacation trip beforehand.
It's really cool.
Here.
You may have to repeat what you just said.
Patrick, did you? Oh. Um,
Patrick, turn your video off. That might help us a little bit.
oh, that's true. Yeah, because we're just
Because it
watching
eats
the
up
game.
bandwidth. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to lose the AI here, by the way.
Cool.
You went with the hard AI, right? I thought I saw.
These are I did a head-to-head game before this that was against the hard AI. These are just all easy.
Gotcha.
But I think
the easy is pretty hard though too. The easy is not a sure victory.
Oh, definitely, and I'm not great at this, so that also helps the AI.
The AI is pretty ruthless.
Okay, here we go. Patrick, I wanted to ask you because I just saw you tweet about this before we started. How do you feel about the latest nerfings in Hearthstone?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Oh, we lost you.
I'm not super.
Bummer.
I don't know anything about the
About Leroy Jamie too much. And the logic behind him. Oh, Google.
Keep going in and out.
I think I heard the word Leroy.
That was all I was going to ask about. I haven't heard anything about the nerfs, but I was like, please tell me they did something with Leroy.
Oh,
they
just
made it
put
more.
him on
So
mana.
yeah, he costs 5 now.
I don't understand why they increased the buzzard from 2 to 5 though.
And it just makes it no longer I don't know what the Hunter early game is anymore. I don't know.
I don't know.
I've only been playing the challenges. I've not been playing multiplayer much or single player or
I am so
multiplayer.
hooked on that game. It's so ridiculous. I play about an hour of Hearthstone a day.
Wow.
And I don't really have an hour a day to be playing Hearthstone.
That sounds like the good life, though.
I start every morning with it.
What's your favorite class?
I would definitely have to say Paladin.
Okay.
Definitely Paladin, but I really like Shaman as well.
Yeah, Shaman's tricky. I haven't really gotten the hang of it yet. It seems like every game I either win 30-0 or I lose 0-30. Like it all depends on so much RNG. You do like 20 damage in one turn, and then you have no mana the next turn.
Yeah,
but I like
it's
it.
tricky.
I like the Blizzard.
I like the totems. I'm a big fan of the totems.
I played a shaman when I played World of Warcraft.
So
juggling all those totems is always fun.
Yeah.
Oh man, I almost fell into that hole recently.
We got any Twitter questions or anything?
Let me check. Yeah, so we have some on Board Game Geek. They're asking, are we going to see any other Crash games, digital versions of games coming out? That's the answer. Two laughs was the answer to that question.
Very succinct.
I think I'm going to paraphrase that as... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If the first one can pay for itself, that'll be a really distinct qualifier too if I do another one.
You heard the man. Spread the word.
Yeah.
It's got a good amount of downloads. I mean, I don't know what to compare it to. I've got 1,000 downloads in a week, but it's going to take about 4,500 downloads to pay for the app.
Yeah.
Right. Those are the realities.
So, I mean, we'll see, because inside of every copy of Paydirt, inside every copy of Yardmaster, and inside every copy of Yardmaster Express is a flyer for the app. So I'm hoping that when the games hit the market that I'll see a big boost there. But so much of this is still guesswork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Rod, Marguerite is asking if we ever turn the conversation column on YouTube during our live casts. Do you know what that means?
I have no idea what that means.
Are you broadcasting on the Board Game Geek TV channel or the iOS Board
I
Game
am, yeah. I am on BGG TV.
Okay.
Yeah, we will
Let me
look
see
into
if
that.
I can find it. I'm actually
yeah.
looking. I'm looking at the controls.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. There's still a lot. I do not know all the secrets yet of it. All right, can I pull out this game? That's the question. Let's see. It's 11, 12, 12.
Brad's gonna choke.
I'm a bit behind here.
That's a lot of livestock in that arrival yard.
That is true. I really need a 2 though, or a 1 of another color.
So, what do you guys think about the Apple Watch?
Ooh, I want it.
Yeah, I want one too.
Me too.
Yeah, I got with my Samsung. I have the Galaxy Gear Watch, so now I'm hooked on that kind of functionality.
Okay.
I switched to Android 3 months ago, so I'm kind of out of the Apple ecosystem now. But I want the watch.
How dare you, sir?
I know. I feel like a traitor.
I'm doing the opposite after, I don't know, like 6 years of Android, 5 years. I am getting an iPhone 6 tonight at 3 a.m.
You're switching back.
Yeah.
Oh, is it available already?
Set your alarms. That's when the apparently the pre-orders open.
So
Okay.
Yeah, in 5 hours.
Oh dear.
you can pre-order it in 5 hours, and then you'll get it in about a week and a half.
It's going to be a bad night.
Oh man, I'll just wait for that
2-month-old. I'll be up anyway.
creation and confusion to be over. I'll go get.
Gosh, I have no idea how to turn on the turn on the conversation tab. Maybe it's a Hangout thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the Q&A section. I don't know. There's like a Q&A you can turn on, which
Yeah, it always feels weird that we can't get the comments to come right into the.
Yeah, we've tried it before and it didn't pay off for us, but. All right, so I think we're gonna switch over to Leaping Lemmings. Patrick, I don't know if you want to keep hanging out or head out. It's totally up to you.
I gotta shove off for the dinner.
Yardmaster is a lot of fun.
Permit meal, gentlemen.
Hey Patrick, thanks for coming on, and I'll see you in like a month.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks for featuring the app. People can download it now, and yeah, I'll see you guys in Germany.
Cool, man.
Sounds good.
Auf Wiedersehen. That's my German extent. I also know Ich spreche keine Deutsch.
So this is the first GMT game I ever played.
Oh, okay.
Way back when I was just getting into board games. Well, I've been playing them since I was young, but didn't know there was a whole hobby there until about 2009. So I first played this one, I think, around that time.
Yeah, this is kind of a GMT departure. Like, they mostly do war games.
Right.
Some Euros, but mostly war games.
And this is kind of I don't know, it has things in common with war games, I guess. You're moving chits on a board, but they're
I don't feel like these lemmings are taking the eagle seriously.
No. They're just happy to run off that cliff.
Yeah. Right. I'm the soldiers for whatever reason.
When you said we were going to play Lemmings, I was thinking of the Psygnosis one. Remember that game? Lemmings? Yeah. I was like, that's not a board game. How are we going to play Lemmings? Oh, Leaping Lemmings. Got it.
Yeah. So I don't know how big of a game. I'm just going to go with maybe a 3-player game. Any bigger than that, it might take a little longer. Maybe 4. Just because they each do take a turn. All right, so the way this game works is we, or I guess, are trying to get our lemmings off the cliff, and we score victory points by how far they jump off the cliff. So each turn there's going to be a movement card, and what you want to try to do is get your lemmings towards the spaces by the cliff, and then use a full movement, like a 5-point card, to jump them off for the full 5 points. So each turn we also get to move the eagles around. So the eagle icon passes from player to player, and it's also the first player. So you roll dice, and it shows how far they can move, and it highlights where they can go. I think the UI is pretty well done. I feel like going first is kind of lame because you don't really, I don't know, have a chance to make a good play with the eagles. There's also these pellets. They're worth victory points. You can also use them to kind of change die rolls and make the movement further and things like that. Have you guys played this game before? Either of you?
I hadn't played it until earlier this week. So yeah, got used to it on the app, but I've never played the cardboard version, the dead tree format.
I have not played either version.
No, he took my pellet. That jerk.
So you only get the pellet when you're leaving the space, right?
Right.
When you land on it?
He just moved the biker guy and took my pellet. There's also these cards that you can use that all do certain special actions, but they're also worth victory points at the end of the game. So it's kind of like, is it worth taking that action, or is it worth waiting until the end of the game?
So what about these bushes out here?
Right, so you can use the bushes as cover. They cost 2 movement to go into them, but the eagles cannot eat you while you're in them. So when an eagle moves into a space where there are lemmings, it will eat one of them and then scatter the rest of them. But it can't choose to eat one that's in a bush, but it will scatter them as well. And I do think the AI is pretty susceptible to one pretty clear strategy, which is you hide in the bush and you wait till the turn before your turn, and then you move out on that turn as close to the cliff as you can get, and then on your following turn you jump. Right.
Yeah, you have a lot of power if you're the one who's going to be the eagle next.
Right.
Because you can sort of go wherever you want, and you're safe.
Right.
So what's going on with the line of bones?
Right. So the line of bones is
I didn't even see that.
So it's the one space where both eagles can get to. So any of those spaces can be in either eagle's zone, which is bad news if you're a lemming. All right. So since I'm the eagle next, I'm going to move close to the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully get a nice movement card that I can use to jump.
And you can also play. Do you have any of those cards that increases the die roll?
I think I do. That's probably what I should do.
We'll
see. We'll see what it ends up being first. So the P on the dice, you add a pellet, which maybe means poop. I don't know, but.
Yeah, I was about to say it kind of looks like poop.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's.
But you're collecting.
There you go.
You're collecting poop, and the poop scores you more victory points. So.
What?
Yeah. So we just jumped.
Who are you? Are you clan hippie?
I am clan soldier. So
Clan soldier. Okay.
The green clan.
It looks like each of the sides too has one hex that is totally safe, which also happens to have a bush on it, which seems a little redundant, but.
Right.
I guess it ensures that it charges you a little more for moving in and out of that space that the eagles can't see.
Right. And there is like some cards that can scare you out of that space. There's one that's like a farting card or something that scares all the lemmings out from a given space.
It's terrifying.
So, yeah. So people have asked on Board Game Geek, they were asking if the interface seems kind of cluttered. I don't know. I mean, I do wish it was a little more dynamic, but otherwise I think it's pretty clear. All the information's there. Things are pretty small, but you don't really need to know that much about your chits other than that they can move and where they are. But I don't know. How's your experience been, Gray, playing on the app?
It's good, and especially on a Retina device, Retina iPad at least, I didn't feel like anything was too small. I do like that everything is static. After playing with a bunch of games and working on games where there's a lot of movement of the map and you're zooming and scrolling, that's sort of what I would have thought here, and they didn't do that, and I think it's better for this particular game. You always see the full screen.
Yeah.
That's really the way that it should be played. I think there's a lot of real estate taking up the top part. Like the bottom seems nice and frugal.
Mm-hmm.
The middle part seems appropriate, and then it's clear that with those two, the middle part they didn't want to stretch vertically, and so you got this huge upper band that's just a waste of space. Like the tricks and tips, they put some tutorial text there. The giant eagle chow thing, I don't know.
Right.
I maybe would have centered it or something. I don't know. Not a whole lot of complaints over this layout, I guess.
Yeah, I have to say, now that you mention it, scrolling and zooming on apps is just such a pain.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to draw criticisms of game apps, like the more I have to scroll and zoom, the less I'll play it, right? Because it's just tedious. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wish Agricola had a advanced version that just had a summary. Take away all the graphics, take away all the things. Just give me a spreadsheet.
Yeah, there's a lot of left to right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing a ton of Lords of Waterdeep lately, and yeah, so I guess that's where I'm getting my
quite a bit of scrolling
fatigue.
on there. Yeah.
Very fatigued.
Scrolling fatigue. That's a good name for it.
I do think an interesting thing in that regard is actually we saw Through the Ages at Gen Con, and it has both a graphical view and a spreadsheet view, basically, that you can toggle between. So you'll have that option to just get that.
That's awesome.
View.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one game I'm really looking forward to. I just never got a chance to really play it a lot, just because of the time commitment and
right.
Like people. I mean, you really need people to put in the time commitment for that game. So I'm excited to see it.
Right.
So one thing to sorry.
No, go ahead.
With the dice and the pulling of the cards, when you get that number that says 2, it's interesting. You have to move the bird 2 spaces. So it's not
right.
like up to 2 or whatever. It's 1, 2, 3, or the pellet, and that kind of changes the way that you statistically consider some things. Like you don't really fear being next to an eagle because there's still only a 25% chance that your opponent's going to roll it.
Right.
A little bit of strategy.
Oh, so it can overshoot you if you roll a 2.
Yeah,
Nice.
It has to overshoot you. And I think the same goes for the lemming movements. Like you can't opt to just move a 2 into a bush if you rolled a 3.
Right. Correct. You have to do the full movement. Yeah, and I think that's why being there's excuse me, there are 6 different areas for each eagle, and so being in that one that's 3 moves away seems safe, but then if you roll a 3, you may end up getting yourself or whatever. Yeah. Because there's only one choice for 3 moves.
And I don't know with the dice there are 4 choices. There's 1, 2, 3, or P, but I don't know how that actually lays out on the sides of the die. So is it 1 is more represented or the P is more represented?
I think 3 is less common, but you're right. Because I'm playing digitally and I don't remember what the dice had on them, I don't know for sure.
Okay. So my 25% probably doesn't know.
What is the big eagle chow thing up there?
So these are showing you which lemmings have been eaten so far.
Oh, I see.
So you kind of know what players have left to look at.
What? Man, this is a rough game.
Yeah.
Red is totally getting brutalized.
notice that the two eagles have a different graphic right now than they currently do.
Yeah.
So the eagles have two modes. They're either in hunting mode or eating mode. And it costs them one of their movement points to move out of eating mode back into flying, into hunting. So that was something that tripped me up when I was trying to plan things. I kept wondering, like, why can I only move 2 spaces if I roll a 3? And it's because you have to use one of your eagle spaces to get back into the air.
Right. Yeah, that's something I think was tripping me up at first too. Actually. So, sorry, I know this is the big game that everyone's been talking about. I haven't had a chance to play it, but have either of you had a chance to play Destiny yet?
I have not.
Yes, I have. I think we talked about this earlier.
We did.
Yeah,
Offline, though.
I'm playing it on the PlayStation 4. First thing I have to say is the graphics are amazing. Holy cow. I have not seen a better looking game. I mean, I play a lot of stuff, like shooters and stuff, and I mean, I think the BioShock game, looked great. BioShock Infinite. But this game has it's got a fidelity of, like, texture resolution that I've not seen before. Everything looks pretty realistic. It's amazing. Game part is very straightforward. I'm enjoying it for sure, but it feels a lot of sameness to it in the storyline.
Okay.
You're basically you're getting a mission, you're going out, you deploy your ghost, which is voiced by Peter Dinklage, and like he's a little flying robot that he's your, like, pet kind of thing. I don't know. And then you deploy him as a he's hacking into a system, and you're basically sitting there defending an area for 5 minutes or so. And then that's pretty much 90% of the missions that I've seen. They're all pretty much the same. I'm not saying it's not fun. It's super fun. I've been playing with a couple guys on Board Game Geek, and we've been having a good time with it. I think the game is designed for 3 players. Like, I played a little bit of the story by myself and found it was very hard to advance. Like, they set it up so that if you die without getting resurrected by a teammate, you have to restart. So if you're playing by yourself, you're pretty much if you go down, you basically have to restart. So eventually I just gave up on that and waited till friends came on. So it's kind of a friend game. I think it's designed that way. Like, you really do need the multiple players to do well in that game, which is cool.
Gears of War was sort of like that too, right?
Yeah.
Where you had a buddy, you sort of had an easier time because you could each other.
Right. Yeah. So this is kind of just the full game is designed that way. There's really no. I mean, there's a single. You can play it. You can totally play it by yourself. But if you're terrible like me and you are not a good shooter player, you die a lot, and then you're basically starting over a ton. So.
How would you compare it? I think probably the most appropriate comparison would be Titanfall. I mean, the last big release for those, I guess only one of the...
It's almost nothing like Titanfall. In fact, I played Titanfall and I got bored with it within one playing. I was really super unimpressed. I don't know. Everybody was just hyping that game so heavily, and when I got it, I was like, "This is it."
Yeah.
But Titanfall's like a multiplayer, and I played a little bit of the single player Titanfall, but it puts you into a multiplayer kind of setting to advance the story.
Like campaign multiplayer.
And I was just kind of done with it so quickly. Yeah, it was just not fun for me. But I was about to say Halo. Destiny is basically a lot more interesting, and the team. I think the teaming up part is more fun. Like when I played Titanfall, I just played it by myself. But the fact that I'm teamed up with a couple of the Board Game Geek guys it's adding to the enjoyment. And we're basically, shooting the shit on the headset while playing. And the story, I don't know. It's okay.
Take it or leave it.
I'm not following it completely 100%. There's some, like, weird gaps or something. I don't know. I'm like, what just happened? Why should I care about this? Yeah. So I forget what happened like 10 hours ago. Whatever. not splitting it across days. Like I don't remember exactly the story. So
But
anyway, it's a cool game. I really like it. I'm probably being a little more negative than I should be. It's very fun. Way more fun for me than Titanfall.
Okay. A good observation there that sometimes the stories that we love most in games aren't the ones that come prepackaged on the disc, but it's the ones that you're making those
Right.
with your buddies, or
Absolutely.
those crazy moments that come up.
Yeah.
At PAX Dev, the Hearthstone guys, Eric Dodd, came in and gave a talk on kind of their some of the key design decisions that went into Hearthstone, and that was one of their pillars, is that they wanted to just create a game in which, yeah, sure, the game would be fun, but the best part of it would be the crazy stuff that happens that then goes up on YouTube, the stories that you then tell your friends about, oh, this happened. And this
Absolutely,
happened.
like the pull-out victory kind of thing. And
Yeah.
Yeah, last minute. Definitely, yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
So
For sure. I mean, I've been having a great time with it, so
cool.
I
like
do
these
recommend it.
games that are sort of compelling multiplayer. That's great.
If you feel shy and don't want to play online, though, I would not recommend it. Like, this game is super brutal to play by yourself. Or you could just go play multiplayer, the multiplayer matches, the deathmatch or control or whatever. I think there's a capture the flag, too. I've not played all the multiplayer type stuff yet, but you can play that by yourself without really communicating with anyone.
Okay.
So there's also, it is MMO-ish, how there's like random players, right?
Yeah, we actually, they have a thing in the premium content called a strike, which is kind of like a raid.
Okay.
To compare it in the parlance of World of Warcraft terms, it's a 3-player mission that is super hard, like super challenging, and you have to work together to beat it. And I've done one of them, and we barely made it through. It was real close. And Scott Anderson and I were teamed up, and it matched us with a third player, a random player who was not on chat, and who was very selfish, I might add. He would not resurrect either of us. And I was like, what? Do you even understand this game? Like, if you don't resurrect us and you die, we have to start all over, so please resurrect us. Anyway, and you can't, like, type a message or anything. It's just chat messages, chat headset stuff. But so there's that aspect of it as well. And you get gear, you get loot, you get drops, you get random drops and stuff, and you build your skills up. So it's got like this MMO first-person shooter type feeling. And I've not played a lot of Borderlands 2, but I think Borderlands 2 is the one people compare it to most.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a neat game. And I also just started The Last of Us. I did not play that when it came out, and I got the PS4 version, and oh my gosh, that game is amazing. So it's hard for me to. Oh, you started it again? Oh yeah, man, it's so great. It's killer, and that's the story. It has like really intense story.
Yeah.
And the gameplay is pretty fun too. I really liked it. So. Yep, I need to go back and finish that one because I could definitely get hooked into Destiny for a while and not go back and finish Last of Us.
And forget all the other games.
But we also, Scott and I were waiting for the unlock on, was it Tuesday night or Monday night?
Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night. Yeah, Tuesday morning, Monday night. And we were waiting, like we had 2 hours to kill. And so we started playing Last of Us multiplayer. And I don't know if any of you guys have tried that, but it's super awesome. Wow, really? It's so cool. Yeah, it's really neat. It's a different kind of feeling for multiplayer, for sure.
Okay.
That's cool. So, on Board Game Geek, the designer of Leaping Lemmings, Rick Young, has actually chimed in to answer some of the things we are misinforming people of.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
Can he jump in?
I don't know.
Maybe
Rick, if you're available, shoot me a geek mail and I'll send you the link to jump in if you're listening right now. So, but he did let us know that pellets are pellets, not poop, as I prefer. They're the kind of pellets you get at the zoo when you're feeding animals.
Okay. Food pellets.
That makes sense. Food pellets.
Yeah.
I still think they're poop. But
they're just strategically formed into piles.
Yeah, exactly. I've done that twice now. And then he gave us the dice breakdown. So 1 and 6 is the P. 2 and 6 is a 1. and 2 and 6 is 2, and then one of the faces is a 3.
Okay.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Well, it's nice to have the developer right there on the line.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, man.
Let's see.
So you've eliminated 2 of the clans here, huh? Or did
so the game finished. I won.
Oh, I didn't notice. I was talking while that happened.
Yeah, you guys were destinying. But yeah, so I've just started a quick other game just to kind of show some more 2-player game. Yeah, so I don't know. I really find the game's pretty fun. I definitely think there are some predominant strategies in the game now, having played it a little more in my first experience, but doesn't mean it's not fun.
That looks cool. I'm gonna definitely check it out. What's the price on this one?
Let me double check that.
I could look it up actually if you're. I have access to the iTunes store, even though I abandoned Apple.
$2.99.
Oh, what a bargain! Gosh, man.
Yeah.
We are really lucky that board game apps are cheap.
Yeah, I can tell you that this game was not $2.99 on the tabletop.
Oh no, what? That was like $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're living in a world of amazing technology and like low prices for sure.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't know what we've been playing. I've been putting a lot of time into Valiant Hearts.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Great War, which is an Ubisoft game that they ported. I guess it was on Xbox and PlayStation, I believe, and was recently ported.
I think it was released on everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The iPad version actually works pretty well. I don't think you're sacrificing the cutscenes had this kind of pixelated quality to them, and I thought it might have been because it was an iPad. But then I actually looked up online, and that was a major complaint a lot of the reviewers had when they were reviewing the game originally. So I guess it's always been part of the game.
Is it part of the aesthetic of the game?
Well, I don't think so. I just think because they're dealing with kind of comic book.
It's a World War I thing, right?
Right, but it gets pixelated. Like the art is just being zoomed in too.
I see. It's just low res artwork being zoomed.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think it varies artistically. I think a lot of the cutscenes, each of those are like hand drawn art pieces.
Right. I heard there's a dog in the game.
There is a dog in the game. So yeah, you play several characters, like an American who's he's there because the game ends before the Americans actually arrive. So, but there were, I guess, historically 30 or 40 Americans who were living in France who signed up to fight. And so yeah, you play one of them, and then a German man who's married to a French woman living in France who gets deported back to Germany to fight for the Germans, and then his father-in-law. So it's kind of this interesting intertwined story.
Did you finish it?
I did. So it's I like to feel like I have respect for history. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a history buff, but I found it interesting. Like, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be offended by the parts that were very, very video gamey. Like, there's a Baron character that you chase through half the game, and you have a boss fight with him a few times, and those sorts of things. But at the same time, it's also really respectful and deals with some really hard subjects at other parts of the game. So I don't know. I'm torn.
Definitely on my list to play. I've got it for Steam. I got it on like a Steam sale.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth checking out.
But haven't got a chance to play it yet.
It's so I think it's $4 or I think it's $4, and then each additional chapter is another I believe $1 or $2.
Okay, so it's a good amount of game for the beginning part, and then if you want to keep going.
Yeah,
I think, DLC basically.
Like so like what you have on Steam, I believe, is the full game.
Yeah.
But they kind of broke it up, but
right. Yep.
So they kind of
it's $5 to buy it, and then
$4 each episode, but you can get all for $9. So you're talking like $14 for the full game, which
$14.
pretty comparable to. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's basically what I
equivalent
think I
almost.
paid. Yeah.
So
They almost want you to buy the whole pack because each episode is $4, or you can get 3 episodes for $9.
right.
Huh.
I think they're trying to make it pretty much a
What's the
no-brainer.
conclusion pack? Is that part of it?
I think that might be the last episode.
Conclusion to the story.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. It deals with some really rough subject. There's poison gas.
There's a lot of gas and killing, right?
Yeah. So it's definitely, I don't know, because I know we've got a lot of war gamers on Board Game Geek, and part of being a war gamer is respect. You want to play games about history, but not in a disrespectful way. And I think that this one is trying to be respectful, even if it does kind of fall into some video game tropes occasionally. There's like historical documents throughout it, things that you can read and stuff like that.
So this happened kind of while we were. Last week you were sick, so we didn't really get to have a show.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about the Asmodee purchase of Days of Wonder? Like Days of Wonder is really a software company these days.
Right.
Not that they are putting out board games too. They do one a year, but they definitely do a lot of software too.
Yeah.
Opinions about it?
Gray, do you have any opinions on that?
I do not.
Familiar with those two companies. So Days of Wonder, for those that don't know, makes Ticket to Ride as one of their big games. I was eating, dang it. Memoir 44, which is a kind of a very accessible war game, I guess is what you call it. And
a light war game, yeah.
Light war game, yeah. And they just, were purchased by Asmodee, which is Asmodee is a distributor, not a publisher generally, right? I mean,
they're still part of the publishing process in a lot of ways. At least as I understand it. There's, they have a distribution system, and then they also do publishing of games and things, and they also have like studios that do games. So,
okay,
kind of a big conglomerate of board game business. And now they've got a publisher, Days of Wonder. Or another publisher, I should say.
My initial reaction when I heard it was, from what I've heard about Days of Wonder, they are, it was started by serial entrepreneurs.
Yep.
And I wonder if this is just, the next step of an entrepreneurial venture. You just,
moving on, potentially.
You move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know both Mark Kaufman and Eric Haltmont from going out to StrategiCon or KublaCon a lot of years there because they're in the Bay Area, and of course they've come to BGGCon and stuff. But yeah, they were in the computer graphics business when I was in it as well. So I didn't know them back then, but it's kind of funny. Small world. But yeah, they were both entrepreneurs, and I thought part of the reason they were getting out of the entrepreneurial world was to kind of like have an easier life, I guess, like less stress and stuff.
Right.
So, but yeah, this could just be like an exit strategy for them. I didn't know that was the case. Why they created the company. I just thought it would be more of like, I thought they felt
we're ready to settle down, kind of.
Yeah, it's like, I'll do board games for the rest of my life and have fun in business and stuff, and a more easygoing kind of industry. But I was surprised actually. I think I read somewhere that Eric was like, I will never sell this company, or I forget where I saw that. Someone was mentioning it to me. Where, like, I kind of vaguely remember them saying that, but maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so many years. But yeah, it's interesting. Now, I mean, Days of Wonder. I was talking to Mark, and I think they have something in the order of like double-digit programmers, like at least 10.
Oh wow!
Because their ticket to ride is a big thing, and Small World is a big deal. And that's a lot of programmers for a board game company.
Yeah, it is.
So they're almost like a software company more than anything.
Right. Well, if you could, I mean, just thinking of, I don't know, if they could bring that team to bear on a lot of the Asmodee titles that I think
It's very
would
possible
benefit.
that might be the reason that they bought the company is they bought a lot of the technical talent to put other Asmodee games out on iOS or
Right.
Android or whatever electronic versions. Not to mention, Ticket to Ride's a big game. It's kind of a big deal. So, and that's going to be an evergreen game. It's going to be like Monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be forever in print. It will grow into that kind of game for America, like Monopoly.
Definitely.
So it's a good purchase, I think.
Replace Monopoly even.
I hope so. I'm tired of telling people, is this a game like Monopoly? No, it's not like Monopoly.
Well, I beat the AI again. My one criticism here maybe is that the AI. I'm not very good at games, so I think the AI could be ramped up a little bit.
Did you crank it to hard?
I did crank it to hard.
Okay.
1-on-1, hard versus easy. It did pretty well. But yeah, I think we should probably call it here. I think these are both really interesting games. They both don't feature tutorials, so you're going to need to crack down and read some rule books if you're going to play these. Or watch a video online.
It's interesting. A lot of games are coming out these days with no tutorial. Like First and Goal was like that as well, right?
Though in defense of Leaping Lemmings, it does have a tutorial mode, or a button that you put on that gives you those tips as you're playing the game.
Oh, okay.
And the UI is pretty healthy way to go.
Yeah, and
plus you have the tip box at the upper left corner, kind of telling you what to do.
Yeah, definitely. So it does do that, and granted, this rulebook is a rulebook that's app specific, which Yardmaster is actually just a scan of the has like setup rules and things like that. But this one definitely is just what you need to know to play the app. So that's
in each case, I would much rather have like an actual walkthrough. Click here. This is why you're doing this. Because for both games, I kind of had to play it a couple times and read through the rule book.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's one of those time versus money and things in this cheap world of apps that we have, I think.
Yep.
Because you can obviously do anything, right? It just is a matter of like paying more money to a programmer, an artist, and all that stuff.
Yeah, right. The ROI is probably not.
And time.
Anything is possible, right?
Yeah, for sure. For a programmer, anything is possible.
Well,
great, Brett. Thanks, Brad, for hosting.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. I don't know what we'll play yet, but we'll pick something good. So thank you guys so much.
Later.
Good night.
Later. Bye.